Hi goal-getters, welcome back to the channel. I've made a couple of farming videos on the channel and I have noticed that you all love them so much. I understand that some of you would love to actually get involved in farming, but you are scared of the fact that maybe you don't have vast land or you don't have the necessary skills to cultivate certain crops. Worry not, for I have got you covered. Do you know that you can actually get involved in agriculture without necessarily cultivating the products yourself? So in this video, I am going to be walking you through 12 very lucrative agriculture business ideas that you can actually embark on without doing any farming. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Elvinjik and I am inviting you to subscribe to this channel and join this noble family. For on here, we do everything that has to do with business, entrepreneurship, finance, basically everything that has to do with money. And we also guide you on how to invest that money and manage it well. That said, without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. Now, the first business idea I have for you here is the agriculture consulting business. So with this business model, you are mainly going to be guiding agriculture and food companies on how to manage their business properly in order to maximize profits. So for instance, you could guide people through crop rotation that is going to increase their yields, since it is going to increase the advantages of crops while lowering the risk. So I can assure you that this business is so lucrative. A lot of people even here on the channel constantly reach out to us to help guide them on how to manage their farms. And this is something that isn't cheap, alright? Because for us to bring our expertise to their farms, we charge them for it, alright? We're going to be in charge of the transportation, accommodation, and many others. And you know, most times farms are in forest, and you know, here we talk about the tropical forest. So penetrating those forests alone is enough risk already. So it is something that is not cheap, alright? And if you're interested in such a business, you will need a master's degree or at least a first degree in agriculture engineering or agricultural science. Now, this is something we are planning on actually organizing masterclasses, but the time isn't right yet. And whenever we will be ready to do that, I am definitely going to let you all know, so that if you are a goal getter watching us and you're interested, you could actually subscribe and attend the masterclass. Now, let's assume you've got at least your master's degree already or your bachelor's degree in agricultural engineering or agricultural science. You can just use your certification and start your business, alright? Now, let's assume you don't have those, but you are very interested. Don't you get discouraged, for there's a way to go about it. And remember, I always say everything happens online nowadays. There is actually no need for you not to do something that you're interested in because you think that you aren't competent or you don't have the necessary skills. Now, goal getter, if you've been on the channel for a while now, you would remember this video where I talked about these online websites where you can go and actually take some professional courses with certificates. Do you remember? Now, if you're new here and you haven't watched that video, I am going to link it up somewhere here and in the comment section or in the description box. You go and watch it, but right after this one, if you're interested in this business model. For in that video, I exposed about 10 websites where you can go and take online courses. But now in this video, I am going to talk to you about 3 websites that could be very instrumental for you to get certified in order to do such a business. So if you're interested in taking some courses in agricultural engineering, I would advise you go to websites like Udemy, Upgrade, and Audacity. For these 3 actually offer these courses with certificates at the end of your training, right? Now that takes us to the next business idea that you can actually do in the agricultural sector without necessarily farming. And I am talking here about food processing business. So this has to do with ready-to-eat or ready-made food packages that you could come up with and put out on the market. Now, when we talk of food processing, it is a very vast topic, and I have covered it detailedly in a couple of videos that you can find in our playlist. So I am not going to be going into a lot of details on this point, but I am just going to be giving you some key things you need to know about food processing business. But if you're interested, you can check the details in this video. This business model is actually going to be very profitable for you because a lot of people now in Africa love branded food. Everyone would go for something that looks aesthetically pleasing than the other one that is maybe dirty or not well catered for. So people love branded food a lot. So if you're interested in this business, there are a variety of products that you could choose from. So you could either process things like chocolate, tomato paste, ginger and garlic paste. A lot of Africans would pay anything to get a well-packaged ginger and garlic paste nowadays because, in most African meals, we use a lot of garlic and ginger. If you are an African watching this video and you are especially from West or Central Africa, you would know how much our mothers loved ginger and garlic. This is something that back in the days when we were growing up, you would always find ginger and garlic paste in our refrigerators at home. Let's now assume maybe you want to involve yourself in food processing, but you aren't comfortable with the fresh or liquid products. You could go for the dried processing option, that is the powdered option. You could produce things like cocoa powder, ginger powder, garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric powder, and even lemon powder. Now, if you are confused and you don't really know how to go about this, worry not, for nowadays we don't stress for anything. Do you know that there is actually a dehydration machine now that you could use to dehydrate any fruit or vegetable you want to dehydrate? So I am not getting into a lot of details because this is something that I have talked about in my previous videos already. So you could just go and check my food processing videos and you're going to find all of these details there. And even if you're interested in packaging machine, I have fully covered a packaging machine in this video. That is everything about it. You'll find it there. That leads us to the next business, which has to do with agri-tech development. With this business model, you're going to be developing and selling tech solutions to farmers. It could be things like automated irrigation systems or simply softwares for proper farm management. And that's how you're going to be making very good money for yourself. And if you don't know, a lot of Africans are going huge on agriculture. We've understood that that's the key to making real money in Africa. We've got agriculture on one hand and real estate on the other hand. These two go-getter are the two main pillars of amassing wealth in Africa right now. Talking to you here is a proud owner of an organic farm in Cameroon. I am actually going to be taking you guys on there pretty soon when the time is right. And I am going to be walking you through my own fair share of mistakes, what I've learned along the line, basically everything that would benefit you and enable you come out as a winner in that sector, for it is a very delicate one, alright? I don't mean to scare you, but organic farming is something that is very delicate, for it isn't easy to actually cultivate a large amount of crops organically without using chemicals. So I am going through my fair challenges right now and learning my own lessons along the way, and I am definitely going to let you all into the soup when the time is right. If you are still just roaming around the ship, please come on board and watch this video wherein I talked about organic farming and many other lucrative businesses that you could do alongside in Africa. Next on, we will talk about finances, alright? If you don't want to involve yourself in agriculture and cultivate in a farm, you can do that by financing those who are interested in investing in the agricultural sector. So this is a very profitable business nowadays that some people have begun doing and are cashing out big. For you lend out money with a decent amount of interest, but at the end of it, the more people get those loans, the more you make money. Remember that people nowadays don't do the regular or standard farming that we used to see back in the days. People embark on huge plantations now. So these business structures are there to finance those huge projects, alright? And that's how they equally make a lot of money from financing those projects and getting interest on their money. And with the agro-financing business, you aren't doing only loans, alright? It actually goes beyond that. Apart from offering services that are tailored to the agricultural sector like loans, you also offer insurance services to farmers and equally investment opportunities to farmers. So it is a whole lot actually, but it is a very, very profitable agricultural business that you could do without necessarily farming. Next on our list, we will talk about agricultural equipment business. So there are two ways to go about this business. You could either go for the buying and selling of these equipment, or buy them and lease them or rent them. But I would advise you go for the rentals if your funds are limited, because you know these are machines that aren't cheap, alright? We are talking here of agricultural equipment like tractors, tillers, plows, harvesters, and even irrigation systems. So these are things that are quite expensive, and if you don't have the funds to maybe buy a whole lot and sell, I would advise you just buy a few and rent them out. Mark you, a lot of people are going to actually contact you for those. And in Africa, most agricultural equipment are rented per hour, alright? This business is very lucrative. For renting out things like tractors, for instance, cost a minimum of about $200 per hour in Cameroon, for instance. So this is some business that is very lucrative. So imagine renting out your tractor for just 5 hours a day. That is $1,000 that you are banking from one client alone. So imagine that aside from tractors, you've got plows, tillers, harvesters, and irrigation systems to rent out. You will go crazy over the amount of money that you're going to be cashing in per day, not to talk of per week and per month, then imagine per year. So hey, goal getter, this is some business that you don't want to joke with. Next on our list is an online marketplace for agricultural products. Listen, good goal getter, you know I can never emphasize it enough on this channel how much everything happens online nowadays. Now, imagine that you could come up with a platform where farmers could list and sell their products directly to the consumers without passing through the middlemen. You know, once the farmers cultivate their products and the middlemen come and buy before reselling to the final consumer, it makes the product too expensive for the consumers and reduces the producer's benefit, because the producer has to share part of their income with the middleman. The middleman needs to make their own money from the business transaction, right? So they are obviously going to take it at a lower price and add something to it in order to make their own profit when they sell it to the final consumer. This is a problem that you are coming in to solve with your online platform. You are creating a place where the producers or the farmers could get in contact directly with the final consumers and they exchange their goods for the money directly. Such a system would obviously increase the producers or the farmers' profit margin. So goal getter, this is some business that you can actually do in the agriculture sector without necessarily farming, but you are going to be making a lot of money, because a lot, if not all, the farmers that are aware of that website are going to definitely subscribe to that website and make money for themselves. And while they make that money for themselves, you in turn make good money for yourself. Now at this stage, goal getter, if you don't like this video, I won't be encouraged to continue bringing all these business ideas, for this is something that I take out time to do for you. So the least thing you can do for me is to at least like the video, for it absolutely costs nothing, and also it helps us grow, because this is going to indicate to YouTube that we are doing something great, right? So that's all I need from you: liking my videos and sharing them with your loved ones in order to create awareness among Africans. For the more a lot of Africans get empowered, the greater Africa will be. On to the next. If you don't want to involve yourself in farming, you can involve yourself in agricultural training workshops. Now, this is something that you could do both online and physically. Online, you could maybe do just the theoretical part, but you would also need to do the practical part with your students physically, right? So you're going to be organizing agricultural training workshops that you could do online, and also organize visits to the farms proper. So this will enable your students see in real life what you taught them in the online classes, and even touch them and practice them physically. So basically with this business model, you simply organize workshops where you teach people modern farming techniques like sustainable agriculture practices and innovative farming methods like vertical farming, which is also something that I covered detailedly in this video. You might watch if you're interested. There you will see details in things like like hydroponics, aquaponics, and aeroponics that will help you. Next on, we've got the farm to market transportation business. Yes, you don't want to get involved in farming, but you can get involved in the logistic part of it, that is the transportation of those goods from the farm to the market. Remember, all the farms are always in the forest, or let me say in the rural areas. And most often in most African countries, the roads are very bad. The normal drivers who generally normally transport produce from one part of the urban areas to another don't want to go to those places because the roads are very bad. They don't want to damage their vehicles, and it is quite understandable. Now, this is a huge problem that you can step in and solve. And solving a problem equals to making a lot of money. Now, what are you going to do? Think about why people avoid those roads. The main reason is because the roads are bad. So you are going to go a step ahead of them and get the vehicles that are appropriate for such roads. So we are talking here of things like trucks, alright? Huge trucks that could easily penetrate the interior without difficulty. Now, the least you could go for are things like pickup trucks. So you could go for either big trucks, that is lorries, or pickup trucks. These are the two main type of transportation vehicles that you would need for such routes. Now, another thing that I would advise you go for is the tire chain instrument that I once talked of in one of my videos. I'm just going to put a picture of it here. You get these and attach them to your pickup tires to make them more resistant and suitable for such roads. So you could actually buy a lot of these vehicles and start up your business, alright? If you could afford 3, fine. 5, 10, why not? As many as possible, the better it will be. But now, let's assume maybe you don't have the funds to start at that magnitude. Let's assume you could afford just pickup trucks. Now, you've got maybe 2 or 3 pickup trucks, right? You just need maybe 2 or 3 drivers, and you start getting in contact with farmers. For a start, you aren't well known, and maybe you don't want to waste maybe your fuel on roads that you aren't well known. You could do some campaign and let the villagers or the farmers know that you've got pickup trucks or lorries available for them. Now, you could start with particular days, all right? You could maybe take 2 days a week or 3 days a week that you would let the farmers know that during those days, your trucks are available for them to carry their produce from their farms to the city. And that's how you're going to be making a lot of money. Now, next on our list, we've got the animal feed production. This is something that a lot of you are used to seeing, all right? Feed production shops are almost everywhere. But the thing is, this is some business that is not going to go anywhere any soon, because more and more people are getting into the animal farming sector and they need feed. And the craziest thing about this business is that recently the prices of animal feed drastically rose. In Cameroon, for instance, prices of animal feed rose tremendously. Let me take, for instance, poultry feed, right? A 50-kilogram bag of poultry feed that was sold for about $24 left from $24 to $35. So imagine how much you could make in this business sector. People consume a lot of chicken, for instance, and no matter how much feed prices rise, the poultry farmers are always going to buy because they need those feed for the survival of their chicks. So you could actually embark on this business and make a lot of money. If you don't know how to do that, you could buy courses online and learn. You could attend master classes and learn. And those are things that you don't really need a specific certificate or specific skills for, alright? Everything is online. How to make the starter feed, the grower feed, and the finisher feed. Everything is online. If you're interested in getting details on all of these things, let me know in the comment section. You could simply indicate poultry feed, and I will get my colleague to come up with those videos for you all, because he is actually versed with that sector, okay? He has been in that sector for over 13 years now. If you don't know, he is actually a certified veterinarian, all right? And just like I said in one of my videos, that you all indicate if you're interested in day old chick production, and you all notified. So worry not, he will definitely come up with that video for you, all right? Now, if you're interested in knowing things about poultry, like poultry feed and certain things, also indicate and I will get him notified. So to produce the feed, it isn't complicated at all. For the basics, you will just need things like corn, soybeans, groundnut for some type of feed, and fish, seashells for certain type of feed, and everything in between. And you will just need things like the grinder, the mixer, and all the like, packaging and all the like, and you are good to go. So this is some business that is very, very lucrative, and the profit margin keeps increasing as the days go by. Now on to the next, we're going to be talking about an agricultural supply store. So with this business, you just need to have your shop where you sell things like fertilizers, pesticides, seeds, especially seeds of scarce plants, things like chili pepper, vanilla, bitter cola, and all the like. Basically all those things that you know aren't really out there. Mark you go-getters, I've made a couple of agricultural videos on the crops that you could cultivate in Africa and make a lot of money, and from those videos a lot of you contact us to ask for certain crops that we don't even have the seeds or know where to get the seeds. So if you are someone who could lay your hands on those scarce seeds, this is a good and big business opportunity for you. You know, I always tell you that as a smart goal-getter out there, you should be keen, you should have like antennas on your head that are just there to detect problems. So whenever you sit with people and you're having a random normal conversation, you should be very alert to always get their complaints, because from their complaints you are going to be getting business ideas. So this is one of them that I am giving to you right now. People have difficulty laying their hands on certain seeds. So if you have some money and you have an idea of how you could go about it to get certain seeds that people are really looking for, you are going to make a lot of money. Let me take an example of some case studies that I have done on the channel already and give you ideas on some scarce plants that people are highly in need of their seeds. We've got plants like bitter cola. The seeds are very rare. We've got plants like vanilla, chili pepper, bamboo. Remember I talked about bamboo on the channel. And even most importantly, moringa. Yes, people are looking for these 5 seeds urgently. So if you've got money, you can embark on the buying and selling of these seeds. And behold, you know, anything that is scarce is equally expensive. So these are seeds that if you invest your money in, you are going to be making a lot of money because people don't even see them. So for the people who are going to know that you sell those seeds, oh God, you're going to make huge profits. On to the last but not the least, you can actually start up a business where you sell agricultural products. Now, this is something that a lot of people do on a daily basis right before our eyes, but maybe you've never thought of doing it yourself as a business. Now, this simply has to do with selling things like fruits and vegetables, tubers and grains, alright? Now, when we talk of grains, you know we are talking about things like groundnut, corn, soybeans, millet, and many more. Now, when we talk of tubers, we're obviously talking of things like yams, cassava, and potatoes, for instance. Now, talking about fruits and vegetables, you know we are talking of things like carrots, apples, tomatoes, beetroot, and you name it. But now, there is this advice I have for you. If you want to venture in this business sector in 2024, I would advise you go for something that is a little bit niched down, something that is scarce, hard to find. If you've guessed, I am talking here of organic fruits and vegetables. Like I said earlier on this video, this is something I am working on. I've got my own farm that I am nursing right now. I'm actually going to be selling organic fruits and vegetables. So I would advise you do it that way. You could actually go for the option of farming or cultivating it yourself, just like I do, or you could go for the option of buying it from a reliable farmer like myself also, and you just sell. That said, when my farm will be ready for harvest, I am going to obviously come and let you all know here on the channel, and those who would love to simply sell the products, you contact me, alright? And you could even go further to produce fruit juices from your fruits and vegetables. Now, let me give you examples of fruits that are very, very important and that I went for. We've got soursop, guava, and lemon. These are things that are very very, very important nowadays for. They've got a lot of medicinal value. Now, this is just to name a few. So you can produce as many fruits as you would want to and as many vegetables as you would want to. And like I said, if you don't want to farm it yourself, you could simply buy and sell. Now, talking about organic fruits and vegetables, if you don't know what we are talking about, we are simply talking of fruits and vegetables that are grown without using any fertilizers or pesticides. So they are completely healthy and safe. And once people consume them, they get all the nutrients and benefits from them. So goal getters, at this stage, I believe I have edified you enough on the businesses that you could do in the agricultural sector without necessarily farming. So if you liked this video, you know what to do. Make sure to share it with your loved ones, and please always press the like button, for it helps, because I know at times you are just submerged with the information you are getting from the video and you forget to like it. It is very important for us when we get those likes. All right. That said, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on my next one.
Gonna let you go, gonna let you turn and walk away.